Me too. Yeah. And of course, Fridays are always filled with inspirational artists. Now, the famed Elton John expertly said that music has healing power. It is the ability to take people out of themselves for a few hours. Now, as usual, our Friday shows are just loaded with incredible musicians, amazing artists, and today we are certainly offering you some of the hottest artists ever. It's going to be an absolute treat.
I am so excited. I know one of our guests today, such an incredible doctor, Uthokozile Mhlamba. He is so incredible, and he describes his music as an exploration of region and culture through his use of interesting sounds and history-infused choices.
And of course, the cello. I mean, my favorite outfit, my favorite instrument ever. But that too. So he's lectured in music and done workshops in places like Brazil, Finland, New York, and Zimbabwe. He joins us to chat about his album, Zulu Love Cycle, plus a performance of one of his singles later in the show.
Absolutely. And then we also make a quick Friday recipe with Chef Nwabisa in the kitchen, and we also chat to life coach Anarine Rousseau.
All right. Now, Nsika is no stranger to our ears, with a voice so distinct that it's captured the hearts of South Africans across the board. Now, the talented musician joins us in studio today to chat about his album titled I Write What I Dream. Plus, he gives us an exciting performance at the end of the show.
But first, let's take a look at the official music video for his song, Sabela.
Friday. How can you not listen to that song and get into such a groove?
I'm telling you, love it all. Now, if you've got any questions for Nsika, head over to our social media platforms using the hashtag Afternoon Express.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And now it's just you.
Yay! I have a whole couch to myself.
You could lie down, actually, and we're going to have a whole little chat.
And dream of more songs.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. You know what's so interesting? I was having this conversation with, I think, was it with you the other day? I was saying that I can dream, and I do a lot of my work in my dreams. Like especially if I've got to do a talk or if I've got to write a motivational speech, a lot of it comes to me in my sleep, and sometimes I'll remember to get up and write it down, and often I don't, and then I lose it because I wake up in the morning going, that was gold, that was amazing, that was the best speech I've ever heard, and I didn't write it down. So is that what happens to you?
So I tend to sleep with my phone just under the pillow. Yeah. So when I wake up, when these dreams wake me up around 3 a.m. in the morning, I just check it out, record that melody, those lyrics, and just go back to sleep. And sometimes I don't even have to take my phone. It just gets engraved in my brain. And when I wake up, it's still buzzing, like this song, Sabela. When my great-great-grandfather, Tamkhulu Maiza, visited me in the dream, we were sitting like we are doing here. Yeah. But he was not even saying anything, just a large figure wearing this similar hat, you know? And in the background, this song was just chanting Sabela. And Sabela means heed the calling to take on the solo journey. And here I am today.
And through those dreams, then you're able to differentiate what is for the group, what is for the soil, and what is for your solo work.
I'm glad you asked, because when it's for the group, I literally see Buhle no Master P in the dream.
Wow.
When a song is meant for Vusi Nova or Anthony Hamilton or whoever, I see them in the dream. Wow. That's how I know. But this time there was no one but myself.
How did you develop the trust in yourself to listen to your dreams?
So it started when I was 6 years old. When I dreamt of a bigger version of myself performing a Kwaito song without a t-shirt on. I had six-pack even back then. I still have one now. But I mean, this is a family-friendly show.
Prove it.
No. But I remember telling my mom that the song that I just dreamt of, I think it's going to be big. And I think I will be an amazing artist when I grow bigger.
Yeah.
Are your dreams only ever about yourself? Like, please, can you dream about me tonight and tell me, am I going to be like ridiculously wealthy one day? And am I going to be married to Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, let me sleep early.
The way he's curved that question, he was like,
I know.
But you say that it's through these dreams, it's through this feeling that you're able to tell whether a song's going to be a hit and how well it's going to do. How has the public reception been to your solo attributes?
It's been amazing. South Africans are so gorgeous. I feel like I just won the Webb Ellis Cup, you know, the trophy.
Well, we did. We all did.
Well, we did. We all did. Because this album literally is a truly golden piece of work. And it's, I mean, people go out every day to buy it across music stores nationwide. It's available across digital platforms. And the support, they come out in large numbers because I've already also just started my I Write What I Dream tour. It just came from PE. It was a sold-out affair. It's so beautiful and surreal.
I actually went to a music conference yesterday and they were saying how unbelievable South African music sales are with local artists. South Africans love local music, and I think, isn't that such a great thing to know that your music is being supported?
Yeah, I love it for sure, because it puts bread on my family's table, and I don't take it for granted. When people tell me stories and write to me and say, Tsika, it's your song that heals us continuously. It's your song that has made me heed my calling. It doesn't matter which field you find yourself in. If you want to grow up one day and be an amazing Afternoon Express presenter, heed that calling, because one day it will happen. It's just inevitable.
You must answer. And the visuals for that music video are absolutely incredible. We were watching it here on the big screens. I felt like I was completely immersed in that traditional sphere. How did you come up with that concept?
So it's literally those sounds that came through. Even when I was recording the album, I did not even know that it had this rich African elements in each and every song until I stepped away from the songs and started listening closely. I could hear nuances of the late Hugh Masekela, the late Jabu Khanyile, and I just saw that I'm also that legendary vessel that has been given such gifts. And each and every time I'm on stage, I even carry a cane now. There's a stick that I carry when I perform. And my forefathers, when they come to my dream, they're always carrying those canes. I even jokingly said, I'm the Moses of this generation. Because I carry a staff, you know. Yeah, but it's beautiful.
I love you, Kanye West. I mean, I'm sorry. I see what you did there.
Well, I know, listen.
But I think it's extraordinary. I think it's amazing.
It is.
And if people want to see that cane, I'll be performing at Nia on 131 tonight.
And when you are there, you've got to stand right up close so that you can see that this is a man with literally the most beautiful manicure I've ever seen in my entire life. No, you've got such beautiful hands.
Thank you so much.
Do you know they say the more beautiful your hands is, the better you are at musical instruments?
And everything else in between.
Okay. Ntsiga's feeling spicy today. We've asked you on social media if you've got any questions for Ntsiga. And we have one here from Ulesedi. Lesedi is asking, okay, let's start with Andile. Andile says, oh, my favorite artist on my birthday. Happy birthday, Andile. Whoop, whoop. Do you have any messages for Andile on his big day?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andile. Happy birthday to you.
Jeannie, I think that birthday song rivals your birthday song. Jeannie has a little birthday song that she also performs, but we'll leave that for later on in the show.
I'll do it for you for your birthday.
For me later.
Your birthday.
Absolutely. We've also got another comment here from Ulesedi. Ulesedi says, what inspired the song Amagu from your album, We Love You?
So when in different instances, my great-great-grandfather would come alone, but at odd times he would bring his entourage. So at this instance, there were my great-grandmothers and everyone in my clan. And they started erupting in this song, Matonga Mahle Kamak. And when I woke up, I tried to capture it as I heard it from the dreams, and that's how it was created.
That is so beautiful.
You are so amazing and so talented. Cool.
Yeah, I love that. You know, from the spiritual entourage to the entourage here on Afternoon Express, we're saluting you, and we can't wait for your performance later on in the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for going solo. So after the break, because we just need more music, after the break we do a quick tech review with Emerson Hector. Do not miss out.
Every day, brave young kids around our country fight their own private battle against cancer. To show them that other kids and families have got their back, a portion of the proceeds from every NutriKids product sold will go to secure the next Clover NutriKids Choc Home in Port Elizabeth, a support base where children undergoing treatment and their families are accommodated, supported, and given a fighting chance against cancer.
Join former Miss World Dr. Raleen Strauss and the ever so suave Nico Panaggio as they host this year's Pink Polo presented by Biomedical Emporium on the 9th of November at Valdevie Estate. With proceeds going to breast cancer awareness, be part of SA's Who's Who saying hello to summer with a day of polo, fashion, sunshine and celebrity in the Winelands at the Pink Polo presented by Biomedical Emporium.
Gain peace of mind with an efficient laundry cycle. Feel cooler air even at midday. Enjoy mealtime with food kept fresh all day long. Better inverter, LG Inverter.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and I hope you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon. Now, if you think about your home appliances, and aging technology and energy inefficient design can cost you money in the long run. And if you find yourself spending more and more, isn't it time to upgrade to the latest and greatest? Well, LG brand ambassador Emerson Hector joins us to unpack LG's new range of appliances that saves you both time and money thanks to the company's amazing inverter technology. Welcome back to The Loft.
Afternoon.
Now, Emerson, we've been unpacking inverter technology throughout the week, but the concept of inverter technology is just so vast. Can you break it down for us?
Where to start? With inverter technology, everything is cut slow from our, how can I put it, from our washing machines to our microwaves to our fridges, our vacuum cleaners. Literally everything is part of that, and that is one thing that LG does. We save you energy, saving you time, saving money, and that's more or less what the smart inverter does for you.
So can you kind of liken this smart inverter technology to the brain or the processor of the appliances?
For example, our fridges. Our previous range of fridges used to have 5 movements in the motor, but now just the one part is moving. So you got one friction part which lasts you much longer. It's less noisy and energy efficient.
Absolutely. And the motor control, how does that then work within the appliance as you already used a fridge? Let's continue with that example.
Let me rather go with a washing machine, because
Okay.
everyone uses washing machines these days. Well, you got your drum, which your clothing goes in, and then you got your motor. Now, our very previous range used to have the motor on the side and the drum on one side, so you had almost like a belt driven. So it gives you much noise, and there was, how can I put it to you, the drum wasn't stable.
Okay.
So with the direct drive that we have now, is the drum is connected to the motor, and you got less friction parts, you got a very silent motor, even in your spin cycle, and you save a lot of electricity and energy.
But then how does that then work? How is the ripple effect seen in the energy saving?
Instead of your drum shaking around, your drum is much more stable.
Okay.
And also with a smart inverter, especially in our washing machines, we've got a 6-motion cycle, which, for example, sometimes when you do spin, then the washing lay in one corner. So if that happens, the drum automatically swings, which is one of the cycles, and it balances out, and then it starts spinning again.
Stunning. So you've already mentioned a fridge, a washing machine, but what other appliances can we see this inverter technology in?
Not too long ago, we spoke about air conditioning.
Yes.
With the air conditioning,
the art cool.
That's correct. And with the inverter motor, it's 2 parts moving, very silent. There's not a lot of friction involved, and it's more or less what the smart inverter does. Other example is perhaps our microwaves with.
I know with the Neo Chef, it's such incredible technology. When I can just liken it to milk. When I'm warming up milk, the actual container will be scorching hot. And then when you actually feel the temperature of the milk, it's still lukewarm or cold even at times. And I know with this inverter technology, with the Neo Chef, it evenly cooks and evenly heats up your food from top to bottom, left to right. And it's just, the infrared technology is out of this world.
That's correct. Even when you take the cup out of the microwave, the ear of the cup, it's not hot.
Yeah.
It heats up the contents, not the plate
Not the container.
or the cup. That's correct.
Thank you so much, Emerson. I really appreciate you breaking this down for us. And I'm sure all of our viewers at home have taken note of all of this incredible technology. Now, if you're looking for a sleek design that can be a great addition to your home, look no further than LG, the brand with amazing inverter technology that can help you save money, whether you're using LG microwaves, washing machines, fridge, and so much more.
Gain peace of mind with an efficient laundry cycle. Feel cooler air, even at midday. Enjoy mealtime with food kept fresh all day long. Better inverter, LG Inverter.
So head on over to the website, pinkpolo.co.za, and book your tickets for this year's Pink Polo happening on the 9th of November. That's tomorrow. Now, not only will you be mingling with South Africa's leading personalities and getting pampered with luxurious hospitality, you will also be involved in making the difference for breast cancer awareness. Pink Polo will be hosted at the award-winning Valdevie Estate this year, so get ready for magnificent views, breathtaking outfits, and important conversations this weekend, the 9th of November, tomorrow. So book your tickets because it's polo with a purpose. Still to come on Afternoon Express, we meet Dr. Thokozani Mhlambi, plus Chef Nwabisa takes us through a tasty pudding recipe after the break.
Support Crush in giving away another 20,000 pairs of school shoes to children in need. Buy a Crush, dial the number on the pack, and stand a chance to win your share of 500,000 Rand. Hashtag share the goodness. Join us on Afternoon Express weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. as we step into another incredible Crush goodness journey with Clover. Hashtag share the goodness.
Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where we're about to dish out such an incredible recipe for you to try this weekend. Now, nothing beats the simplicity of a classic recipe. Roly-poly puddings is tried, tested, and a firm South African favorite that's best served with Clover Classic Custard. So get this recipe by SMSing the keyword Clover to 33650. SMSs cost R1.50 and free SMSs do not apply. Welcome back to the loft, Chef Nobisa.
Thank you very much.
Now, Nobisa, we're doing something here that, you know, South Africans just love. It brings us back to those nostalgic memories of ukoko, grannies,
I was just
Oma,
about to say that. My grandmother in Kukuletu, I promise you, it just really takes me back, and it's very easy. And this is the cake flour.
Okay.
All right. And this is baking powder. Sorry.
No problem.
Baking powder and a little bit of salt here.
Okay.
And we have some vanilla paste. This is just to give a little bit of taste.
Okay.
And we have the butter.
Stunning. And we just put all of that in one bowl.
So I'm going to ask you to beat the egg and the milk
Add
together
milk to it.
while I just mix this.
Okay,
This
so you can just go in with your hands there, right?
Yes,
You don't need any kind of
Yes. And this is the actual part that actually reminds me of my grandmother.
Oh, yeah. Getting those hands dirty.
Yes.
Okay, and then when I'm done here, I can just add that in.
Add it in.
Making sure that the wet ingredients is completely infused in the dry.
And then you can just mix the dough. You can just mix it nicely. You can also use your hand just about here.
Okay.
All right. And then once it's all together
and firmed up.
Yes. We are going to.
Oh, so this is how it looks.
Yes. Basically, in this part, we're just going to roll it nicely. This is just to make sure that it just doesn't stick.
Okay. And are we now basically creating the mold, the log that will hold all that jam together?
Absolutely.
How else can we play with this recipe? I know here, is this apricot jam?
That's apricot jam. So you basically can add raisins. You can also add apples. All right, so you can just really have fun with it.
So what's the major difference between a roly-poly compared to like a Swiss roll, for example? Because they're very similar. I suppose I could call them in the same family group, but there is something very distinctly different about roly-polies. For me, I think it's like the actual dough of it.
Yes, it is.
It's more doughy, it's more filling, it's more dense. Whereas a Swiss roll is, of course, a little lighter.
Yes. We could use this, so you could just use your hand and just
roll it out.
Roll it out nicely. All right.
Evenly distributing it.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
But of course, you don't want to put too much jam because it's just going to smudge everything.
Of course, and you don't want it to be overwhelming as well and overpowering the rest of the recipe.
And basically, you just roll it.
Okay. Into that log that we want.
And this goes to the oven until it's cooked, about an hour.
An hour?
Oh, wow. But until it's cooked through, you can just check it.
Nice. And then it
comes looking like this. And then you basically just...
I'm already skipping to my favorite ingredients of this entire recipe, which is, of course, the Clover Classic Custard. I mean, I love this.
Yes, you can just drizzle nicely.
I love the convenience of Clover Classic Custard. It goes with just about anything and everything. I'm going to drizzle it right on top there, because I would love every single slice of my roly-poly to be drenched in that custard, because I love my creaminess. I love the indulgent flavors that come with this vanilla-flavored Clover Classic Custard. But that's so simple, that's so easy. We topped it off with some berries here, which also just goes so well. And something to try over the weekend when you are entertaining. If you want to do this, SMS the keyword Clover to 33650. But just in case you missed it, here's a quick reminder of the steps.
Made with love by Clover. Clover Classic Custard, the creamy taste that takes you back. Made with love by Clover. Dr. Thokozani Mhlambi is a composer, cultural thinker, and a cellist. He has lectured in music, performed and done workshops in places like Brazil, Finland, Canada, and Zimbabwe. And he joins us now in studio to chat about his recent project titled Zulu Love Cycle, plus a performance of his single Tribute to Nsikana. So if you've got any questions for Dr. Thokozani, please head over to our social media platforms using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm wondering if there's anything else that's nice that you're going to say about me.
Oh, well, I'm not going to stop ever because, you know, you are just so beautifully talented and you've got such a, like a raw, gorgeous sound to your music. Now, why the cello? Where did you fall in love with the cello? I first saw in a James Bond movie and I was like, oh, that's a mean instrument.
Yeah, I think we all have like either James Bond movie. I remember like Boys to Men when I was growing up and then Water Runs Dry and the cello there and like, I really like the sound. Yeah. And then I was so disappointed when I started to play the cello because I discovered that, you know, the sound that I wanted in my head was not the one I could make when I was starting. So it meant I had to learn and grow into it, and that process is so long, and that by the time you actually get to that sound, you're like, yo, it was so much work, eh?
It is, but you like that work because you take a very academic approach to your music.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the work that you do.
Yeah, well, I think I was fortunate enough that because I was exposed to music as a scholarly subject in high school and all that, when I went to university, I was able to study music formally.
Yeah.
And so then I was always now thinking about the formal and theoretical approach that I'm learning in school and how it interacts with my art.
Yeah.
But at the same time, music is not an academic exercise, you know?
Of course, it's passion, it's art.
Yeah.
You can't teach someone to be good at music, eh?
No, you can.
No,
you can.
Like, you've got it or you don't.
Well, you know, like the thing that, you know what they say about African people? African people are all talented in music.
That's true.
So I think for me, in my growing up and my background, I've never really seen, like, there's people who can do music and those who can't. It's always been like, everyone in my family can sing, everyone in my kasi can sing, wherever I go,
Yeah, but I want to know about your academic approach, especially when you go touring all over the place and you go and lecture.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the academic approach for me helps me to transcend borders that I wouldn't otherwise reach. You know, just 2 years ago, I was in the rural outskirts of Brazil and in some of the universities in the outskirts there, where there are a lot of Afro-Brazilians, you know. Yeah. And this is the first time they meet an African person, you know, who's singing something they consider to be an African thing. So they looked at me with those eyes like, oh, they want to know more about where they come from, what is it about Africa that they can learn from me.
Yeah.
And so I think for me then, that approach helps me to be able to connect with people through stories that are very African-focused, but also at the same time a contribution to all of mankind and to the world. Yeah. I think Africa has a good story to tell about ourselves to the world.
Absolutely. Now, I want to know the other story that you have to tell, the Zulu Love Cycle. What is that exactly?
It's called Zulu Song Cycle. Yeah. And Song Cycle is like a format that's was quite popular in the 19th century in Germany, with people like Schubert, who were taking their folk traditions in Germany and focusing on the lyricism of the words, and they would write songs about this in a classical format. Yeah. So I also wanted to do the same, but with African sounds and African stories and be able to put them into a classical format. And that's how Zulu Song Cycle came about.
That is amazing. Now tell us a little bit about the song that you're going to be performing later today.
I'll be playing for you guys Tribute to Nsikana, which is one of my favorite tracks at the moment. Yeah. And Tribute to Nsikana is about the 18th century Xhosa prophet Nsikana, who kind of was struck by a bolt of lightning and then started telling people to convert to God. In the Eastern Cape, and then one of the things Nsikana had was a piece of iron that he would beat like that to tell his people to come forward to him, and that became known as Insimbi Nsikana.
Yeah.
And that legend is still known about in the Eastern Cape today, and there's a lot of folk songs, a lot of folk stories that are about Insimbi Ganzikana.
I think that's one of my favorite part about your music, I think, is your ability to combine history and heritage in music.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, there's so much African mythology, I suppose, that people don't really know about. So if they can hear about it in your music, it's just going to be so many beautiful lessons learned.
Absolutely. I mean, it's something that our great leading intellectual in South Africa, Professor Ntongela Masilela, called, says we need another locus of myth-making in South Africa and in Africa.
Yeah.
Because whether you're looking at Lord of the Rings, whether you're looking at all these great stories that you see from European civilizations, those are all based on myths, based on folk stories, folk songs and folk traditions. But the way they're packaged for us today, we don't see them as that. We see them as just like Hollywood and lights, but actually they're very folk things. They have to do with the people, the land, all these things that we are concerned about as African people, which make us also part of a greater world story.
Totally. Like now, just you telling me about Nsikana.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to watch that movie. It's a great story. But first, I'm going to hear the song before the movie gets made. Thank you so much for being here today. You are such a joy, and thank you so much for bringing us the music.
Thank you.
Well done.
Uthokozani is just so multi-layered and so rich with texture. It's so interesting to see how he combines the simplistic pureness of his music and how the two come together. Simply magical. Now, we've asked you on social media if you've got any questions for Dr. Thokozani, and we've got Usihle September who asked, my question for him is, how does he cope being a musician and a doctor on the other side? Because it seems that both, you have your hands full. How does he manage his diary?
I use my spare time very carefully. You know, I must say that even though it looks like I've got this big life, I keep my life very simple, and the things that I value in my life, my family, my friends, my spiritual cultivation, my ability to also be able to read intellectual work and read activist literature is all the things that matter to me, and they inform each other. So whenever I'm starting to make music only, I always feel like, okay, cool, I need a crutch, I need to read something to be able to have that creative energy.
Absolutely. Creative energy is all we look forward to. Now, after the break, Dr. Thokozani performs his single live in studio.
Express yourself.
Sorry?
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, if you've just missed out on a spectacular interview, I have to ask Dr. Thokozani Uguti, what is the song about? What is Tribute to Nzikana about?
Yeah, it's a story where I'm imagining myself as Nzikana myself, and Nzikana trying to bring these ideas that are little understood in the Eastern Cape about these new spiritual ideas that he had. Yeah, and so that's what the song is about.
Absolutely. A spiritual journey, a traditional journey, but one that we treasure you bringing to Afternoon Express. Ngempela siyabonga. Performing this single tribute to Nzikana straight from his album Zulu Song Cycle is Dr. Thokozani Mhlambi. Take it away.
Make this summer your time to shine with Big Soleil. All right, it's now time for our self-care series brought to you by Big Soleil. Now, the idea of building a relationship with yourself might seem rather odd and unusual, but this afternoon we dig deeper into what it means to have a relationship with yourself, as well as how this contributes towards reaching your goals and maximizing on your shine. And Irene, welcome back to the loft.
Yes, hi.
Thank you so much for being here. What does it mean? Take us through the most broad views on what it is to have a relationship with yourself.
Okay, so having a relationship with yourself is about being able to connect with yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And having the ability to trust yourself.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is actually loving yourself.
That sounds like a journey that takes years.
Yeah, it does. It's a process. It's a life process.
And I know, like, now Emma Watson was actually, like, clickbaiting in the news recently because she's single, and she says, actually, I'm not single, I'm self-partnered.
Ah, perfect.
So she's obviously got a really good relationship with herself. Yes. But what are the tools, or I suppose, how does one work towards having a relationship with yourself and ultimately having that peace where you do love yourself and when you do trust yourself?
Yeah, that shine, yeah. So the first thing is like any other relationship. You need to give it attention. You need to make sure that you're doing a little bit of me time, scheduling it in and making sure it's about you. The next, I like to kind of split it into like body, mind, and soul. So first, if we're thinking of the mind, what are you thinking? Negative self-talk, stop it. Start controlling. That's a big one. Think of it like, I always like to think of it as like, would I say that to my best friend?
Okay, that's a good tip. My personal trainer, actually, I said something negative about myself. I was in front of the mirror with the weights, and she said to me, I'm not responding to that.
It's not even worth the comments.
Because I wasn't being kind to myself.
That's it. Be kind to yourself. It's lovely. It's such a nice way to look at it. The next thing is the body, right? So for me, it's all about accepting it. Not accepting it because you're going to be like that forever. It's accepting it for now with a goal and a plan moving forward. So if you've got flabby arms, a big bum, it's actually okay. You're accepting it for now, acceptance. You can even take it deeper, like, okay, at this moment, I'm actually depressed. But that's okay. I'm accepting it now, and I'm going to have a plan on what needs to be done moving forward. And the next thing is the soul. So the soul is like, for me, is all about like that inner gut, that inner voice. It's all about listening to it and really paying attention to what it's telling you. Because it's going to be telling you things that if you ignore, then there's going to be a consequence. But if you're listening to it, you can shine.
And I think, like, I've got this analogy of myself that it's almost like a roller coaster, because sometimes you do have that confidence and you do have that self-love and you do have that trust in yourself. And then it goes in ebbs and flows, because it is a relationship like a friendship where every day you've got to consistently build on it. I've got friends, well, I've got a friend in particular who cannot spend any time alone. No time alone. He's constantly messaging or calling. How important is it to your own self-journey to find your own love if you're constantly surrounded by noise?
Oh, I have rules with social media. It's like that actually just has to be turned off at some stage. Because what happens with social media, I'm a little bit off track. What happens with social media is that you feel connected. You feel as if you're connecting with someone, but it's actually just your phone. It's not a real thing.
I think everybody does that. That's so true.
And the reason...
Because you're on Instagram, you're getting your likes, but actually you've been sitting alone in your room the whole day.
And it doesn't even qualify as alone time. It doesn't even qualify as alone time. It's really like, just because you feel as if you need to connect with someone, that you get onto your phone and you get that feeling, so therefore you connect to it. There's nothing wrong with it, but you need to monitor it. It can't just exclusively be social media. So
that is, carry on. Sorry, I was just going to say how extremely toxic that is.
It is
to yourself and to the people around you.
Yes, because then you're actually ignoring the people around you. And guess what? They're real. You know, they're the real ones. And the other thing that's real is you real. You know what I mean? Put the social media down and actually spend a little bit of time on you. Ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? You know, it's like, actually, you know, I want to go for a nice walk. Do you know what I mean? What do you need? Opposed to thinking, I wonder who else can I connect with this person? And then if you feel as if you need to connect with someone, ask yourself, why? Why do I keep feeling as if I need to connect with someone? And try and find that with things that you can do within for yourself.
Read, yoga, meditation, all of the best things in life, actually. A nice bath. Thank you so much. I think it's so important that I think people have got to be aware of limiting time on social media just for their own, you know, happiness. So that you can shine. Now remember, in finding your voice, remember right now is your time to shine. And this is with the Bic Soleil disposable razors. These are available at your local leading retailers nationwide. Thank you so much.
Tika, besides music, of course, how do you instill that self-love?
Well, I go for a massage every week. So
must be nice.
Must be nice.
Well, I know my self-love is definitely music, and it just gets me into that zen. So as we're about to gear up for your stellar performance, don't you want to sing us to ad break?
So keep it locked on Afternoon Express. Catch me after the break.
Ooh.
Express yourself. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
But two. I need more music, man. Need more music, ne? Yeah. Yeah. Ah, woo. Yeah. That's the one.
Yes.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, where we're about to kick off your weekend on the right note, a musical note, on Ntsika's note.
Yes.
Now, you have transitioned so many times in your musical journey, and you've just done so much. This is yet another transformation, I find. What can people expect from you going forward?
So I'm extending the tour all the way to next year, Write What I Dream tour. And tonight I'm performing at NIA on 131 at Rondebosch. So people that are in Cape Town, please come through.
Okay, well, you heard people come through to Rondebosch. Go support your boy. But of course, all that information will be on his social media platforms. And we might also, give a little push there. Absolutely, I can't wait for it. Any more traditional music coming through? Are you going to go pop anytime soon?
No, I think I'll just keep it traditional, Okay. And I like what's coming out of SA. It's beautiful. The music that is coming out now, it's incredible.
Stellar.
Yeah.
Stellar work from a stellar man. Now, the term sabela, which means to respond, quite fitting for our next performance after the demand for his fans of music has just grown leaps and bounds. This is Ntsika with Sabela.
Let's go.
Take it away.
Yeah.
South Africa.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I am in the Vakutiwa Sabela answer. I mean, Thokozani, your music along with Ntsika, just the combination of the two is electric. How does that feel coming off of such a strong performance?
Oh, it feels like I was performing with my ancestors, which I know I was, because we never walk alone. Dr. Thokozani can attest to that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I did. And for me, that was also just like a mind-blowing experience. Lots of energy.
That is so
Thank
great.
you so much.
But both of you have got such a strong connection to culture, heritage, and of course your spirituality, which is amazing. It definitely shows in your music.
Thank you so much.
Your doctor was saying something very interesting just now about a lot of people that come from smaller communities, smaller towns, end up going to the bigger cities, looking for these opportunities.
Yeah.
But then he asked me, Palisa, what does that leave for the next generation that comes from our Newcastle, Kanje, Omtata, Kanje? What's your stance there?
Omlazi.
Omlazi.
We're not letting Pali go back to Omlazi.
At all.
Yeah. I think it's important and not also always been thinking of being validated somewhere else. Somewhere else is going to be better, and those people, that audience is going to be more understanding. No, not like Kanje. Ishai patulako, shai ingoma. Not like Kayavu.
Well, Bonise and Jim, as we're about to say goodbye to South Africa and to our viewers, please may you just play us out with something soothing, something melodical, something that you just can do your best.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Bye-bye.
See you on Monday, South Africa.
Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.